Hey, welcome back to the Handlebar Garden.
How's it going?
Today we're going to talk about different mods for your bike. What you would, I guess, when you first get it,
Right.
what you would change.
Yep. Yeah, and there's several things, and I think a lot of that depends on your bank account.
Yeah,
So
yeah, because you can spend thousands of dollars real quick.
yep, real quick. The beautiful thing about if you're going to finance your motorcycle, a lot of times the dealer will add that to your
Yeah,
initial purchase. So that might be something to consider there. Uh, but we was just going to go over a few mods that maybe we done. They're off the bat, and you may or may not agree with them. And if you don't or do, please let us know.
yeah. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you've done to yours.
Let us know what's going on. I'm going to say this, and we had a poll not long ago, and the poll actually surprised me. And so these are in no necessary order
Yeah,
that we would do whatnot, just to give you some ideas. I know for me, the first was exhaust. I want to hear it when I leave the shop. I wanted to hear it, or at least when I get home, do something to it. That's important to me. I don't know many people like to ride a quiet motorcycle.
you'd be surprised how many people are going that direction now.
That's true. That's true.
Of course, gone are the days of the shovel head. I mean, you don't have that
Yep.
classic sound anymore.
No,
So
not
a lot
really,
of them, they're quieting them down.
unless you really cam it,
Yeah.
and then you'll get the lope,
but
but
you
you
still
still,
don't have it. Well, fuel injection, you have to run them a little bit
yeah,
higher.
yeah,
Yeah, when I got my Street Glide, they had already done the handlebars and the detachable backrest,
right,
which I would probably had that done anyway.
right,
But since it was already on there, I didn't have to do that. I guess the first thing I done, I probably bought because it didn't come with the hill shifter. They
right,
stopped doing that, so I bought the hill shifter, and then for my 1,000-mile service, I went on ahead and had them put the grips on,
yep,
since they were into it already.
right,
And then I think after that, I bought the slip-ons.
yep. So that's something to consider there. And a lot of times, is like I said, what's your bank account
Yeah,
have to do? Because you start putting slip-ons on, uh, you're going from what $200 up,
yeah.
and
I've seen a lot of them for around 700
Yep.
just for slip-ons.
or just especially if you do the total exhaust,
Yeah,
you're looking at a lot more than that. So handlebars, like Mike said when he bought his, is already on there.
yeah,
Mine wasn't, and you might get some slack from the people that don't ride on that. Well, why are you doing all this? And because it's like a car, you
Yeah.
got to be out here. And you see some of our other videos about handlebars, how we feel about handlebars and seats. So handlebars, you got exhaust, seats, and Mike mentioned heel toe shift.
yeah.
And if you've not ever had heel toe shift, might not bother you so bad.
Yeah,
But once you've had it, man, it's hard not to have it.
well, I found that it's easier to hit neutral
Mm-hmm.
having that hill shift.
I think so too. I think so too. That actually, when I bought mine, the new one in 2020, was the first year they quit putting them on there from the factory, and I have to have that.
Yeah,
And so that was probably the first exhaust and that heel toe shifter.
well, if you buy a used bike, there's a good chance that most of that stuff's been done.
Right.
As far as the handlebars, depending on, I mean, they may have left them
Right.
stock. They may have went, way up on them,
Right.
and there you are changing them to lower them down,
That's true.
depending on how tall you are and what's comfortable for you.
Yep. So you got to make it yours.
Yeah.
It's another thing we would change here. And like I said, you're going to start spending some money.
Yeah.
You start intake. And you may or may not know, and you probably know, with an M8 you can change the exhaust or the intake without tuner. You can change either or, but when you change both of them, then you're going to get into tuner. So your exhaust and you're looking at some money, and at that point you're at stage one.
Yeah.
So suspension, that's a big thing.
And right now, I guess Legends probably like the most common thing that everybody's thrown out.
It seems like here
Legend
lately.
suspension.
Yep, and that may or may not be my choice. We've all got our opinions, what we like. So,
And for a lot of people, the seat.
seat's a big one. I ride a limited, and the seat, there's nothing wrong with the seat from factory, but it put me too far for. I felt like I was up on the tank hunching. I need to be pushed back some more.
Yeah.
And right now, to be honest with you, I'm in the market for another seat, and I've not made up my mind yet. Mike rides with a tall boy.
Yeah. So we've got a video for that.
Yep,
a
there's
review
video
on
for
it.
that. And I have been going to put that tall boy on my bike and ride it. That's yet to happen. So it's like you don't never think of it, till you're back home. Oh man, we should have done this. But so that's. But I'm looking.
And there's a lot of different aftermarket seats out there.
Well, I'm looking
I
at
went
the
with the
Mustang.
Harley brand, but
I'm looking at the Mustang.
now my Softail's got a Mustang on it.
Those,
Of course, it's an older Mustang. Man, that seat pan, that's made out of steel.
Yep.
That thing is heavy.
and the thing of it is, you can go to Harley Davidson, and a lot of them, they've got those loaner seats or demo seats.
Yeah.
You can put it on and ride it. With Mustang, I don't know. I've heard of a couple shops that have them. I'm going to probably wait till springtime, and I know of a shop that may or may not let you take it down the road. And well, I think they will. So we'll find that out, and if they do, we'll try to post a video on that and let you know what we think about that. Lighting.
Yeah.
Those.
A headlight, especially from the
Yeah.
factory, just.
Yep. Not much.
It's lacking, that's for sure.
And with us, we don't do a huge amount of riding it after dark.
Well, we never plan
We don't plan it.
to be riding after dark, but it happens.
Yeah, we do. We don't plan on leaving at dark and coming home at daylight. We plan on leaving at daylight and coming back by daylight, if we plan. But most time it's dark, and LED is the way to go.
Yeah. And you've got options there. You can get just the bulb, use your stock headlight housing.
Yep.
Or you can do the day makers.
Yep.
And then there's a lot of others out there too.
There's a lot of options. With me, one of my first mods too is I love smoke lens. Got smoke lens and LEDs, and that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, we also just got another video out of Custom Dynamics, that I put for my front turn signals, and man, it's unreal the difference.
Great products.
See, and that's not just for riding at night.
Right.
I mean, I think all the states, most of them anyway, you're supposed to have your headlight on if you're on a bike.
Yep.
And I know riding with 3 or 4 people, if you got one guy behind you with the LED light and everybody else is just the factory headlight, it's like this real dingy yellow, and then the LED's super bright, even in the daytime.
He's standing out.
And it makes it a lot easier for you to keep track.
Yep.
And if you're riding with, 5, 6, 7 guys behind you, it makes it a lot easier keeping track of everybody. You've lost somebody out of the pack.
I like to be seen.
Yeah.
To a degree. I want to be seen. I want them to. The last thing I want them to say is, "Oh, I didn't see him coming."
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. So the more there's headlight mods out there that you can have your headlight flashing, and from what I understand, most states that's legal. I don't like it.
No, because usually when it's flashing, you're trying to warn
Yeah.
oncoming vehicles that something's going on down the
But
road.
I've seen a lot of people in the blinking brake light. I don't care that much about. We used to ride with a guy. Well, still ride with him, but he don't have that same bike no more. But his brake light up here switch, and it would come on and off. His brake light was on and off, on and off. And he kind of liked it, enjoyed it that way. But when you was riding behind him, it kept me a wreck. And we'll probably talk about off. Mike and me will probably talk about that offline. He may or may not know who that is. I know he knows the person, but he might not remember that happening.
Right off, I don't know.
But yeah, we'll talk about that offline. But anyway, is that what? I mean, you got to make the bike yours, you know. But we're talking about things that everybody has a ride bell. And we got videos on that. You know, the legend of. But those are the 5 or 6 basic things that need to be done to your bike to make it yours.
Yeah.
To sit in your riding posture or whatnot. So is that it?
I believe so.
So be sure to leave us a comment. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you would. A couple things you need to do. You need to be good to one another. That's all is important. And you need to be sure to keep it
Torque to spec.